Hello and welcome. I'm Reverend Debbie Bergio. Today we are joined by Deborah Beglich. She is the owner and founder of Senior Care Lifestyles and is passionate about connecting older adults and their families to the resources that they need as they age, whether it might be continuing care, retirement community, assisted living, memory care, in-home health. Deborah has the answers and a passion to guide you. Welcome, Deborah. Deborah, please introduce yourself and tell our audience about Senior Care Lifestyles.
Thank you, Debbie, for having me here today. And Senior Care Lifestyles is a company that I started back in 2014 when I was making care decisions for my mother, who was in her 80s, and I realized that there was not one single resource to go to for families. And people are typically in crisis. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to turn to. And they typically are under a very, very limited time frame to make a decision, which is life-changing for a senior. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I started my company because of my mother, and I built it to be that one resource for people. So once they find me, they do not have to go anywhere else. We can do really just about anything that they need, from resources to assisted living, to finding in-home care, if that's what they prefer to start with. But we are a one-stop shop. We can help with Medicare, Medicaid, in-home care for home modifications. But we typically work with families that are in crisis and need to make a very quick decision.
I see. So you just came to this in 2014, and you came to this through your mom. So what I know you've been called the assisted living matchmaker.
Yes.
So is that where you focus a lot of your emphasis is in?
Yes. The company has been branded, and because of how we work with the community and with our seniors, is that the majority of our core business is working with families looking for assisted living, memory care and assisted living, dementia, even full retirement communities, your continuous care retirement communities. But our primary focus is on assisted living, which families don't know what to do until they're thrown into the situation. There's so many places out there, but they may not fit their needs or their parents' needs or the senior loved one that they're looking for. So what we do is, when our families reach out to us, we do a complete needs assessment. We send them to our website if they have a computer. If not, we will work with them and fill out with the information that we need. But that form really gives us a good baseline of everything that we're looking for. It tells us, who is there a power of attorney? If there's not a power of attorney, we refer them to lawyers that we work with that can help them do that. We try to find out as much as we can about their finances, because assisted living is all private pay. You need to really understand if you're the power of attorney for somebody, you really need to understand what their finances are. What is their Social Security? What are their pensions? Do they have annuities? Long-term care insurance is golden if they have it. What do they have in savings? What do they have in checking? Do they have a house to sell with value? Or is there a reverse mortgage against it, or a big equity line against it? So from that information, we form a budget. We never ask for account numbers. We're asking the family to work with us so that together we come up with a complete budget. From that information, then we start gathering physical care needs. What are the chronic illnesses? And what are their day-to-day activities of daily living that they need help with? Maybe it's just a little help in the morning, getting up, putting shoes on, getting dressed. Maybe there's some dementia, but they need just a little bit of cueing, supervision. Say they need help in the shower, either full assistance or just somebody standing by so in case there's a fall. So all the activities of daily living, what do they need help with? Then we go into cognitive. Is there dementia? Has they been diagnosed with dementia? What a lot of families don't realize is that there are about 8 or 9 different dementias. They fall under an umbrella, and each spoke on that umbrella is a dementia. You have Parkinson's, you have Lewy bodies, you have AIDS, you have you have Alzheimer's. But each one has different characteristics and different treatments if possible. So a lot of times families are just make the assumption themselves, oh, mom or dad has dementia. Well, what kind of dementia is it? Have they gone to a neurologist? And these are things that we'll talk to them about and make suggestions. And then we talk about geography. Where do you live? Who's going to be the primary person that's going to see them? It's important that family is involved. Is it, what part of Maryland? So then we will focus on assisted livings in that part of Maryland that the family can easily visit that meets the seniors' care needs as well as their budget. And we educate. We do a lot of educating our families on costs and options. The differences between in-home care versus assisted living versus memory care versus full nursing care. And there is a huge difference. And I'd have to say that probably 60% of my clients are in the lower incomes and are looking at small residential care homes, which are, in just about every neighborhood. So they're in a residential setting. They're usually licensed for under 16, so it's a very intimate setting. It is typically one-on-one, which you will not get in the larger communities. So if you have a parent that is really needing almost side-by-side or continuous care, but they're not ready for the nursing home, the smaller residential care homes are really a great option, especially for those that are on a very, very tight or limited budget. And when I say limited budget, a lot of seniors come to me and they are living on Social Security and maybe a small pension. So back then the pensions were like maybe $200, $300, $400. Social Security is about $1,200. So we're still under $2,000. So we work with them on building up their monthly budget to get them up into the twos, the high twos, the threes. And we do that through Maryland subsidy programs that are out there. We do that through finding out if they are the spouse of a vet or the vet themselves or both of them, because there is an aid and attendance veterinary benefit for vets that is available to them, very few people know about. So we put them through that process. And then once they get that benefit, we now take that with the Social Security, with the pension, maybe what's in checking or savings, and we place them in an assisted living home that meets their care needs and their budget, their guaranteed income, so they never run out of money. And that's what we're known for. We place our clients wherever they're not going to run out of money, that they can get the most excellent care. And not everybody does that. And that is what one of our best practices is, that we work with our clients on what is best for them. And if we need to get them to stay at home until the place that they wanted to move into is available, we'll make arrangements for in-home care so they're safe. The key is to keep them safe.
Right,
We have,
absolutely.
and especially with dementia and very, progressed dementia, like Alzheimer's. I get calls from families that, one family in particular in my neighborhood, I was working with her. Oh, we're not ready. No, mom's doing fine. Mom's doing fine. Well, mom was left alone all day. And mom was picked up walking down a very major four-way road. And the woman a nice woman stopped, picked her up. She hopped right in the car. And then she saw a school bus come. And she said to the kids, does anybody recognize this woman? Oh, yeah, that's Mrs. So-and-so. She lives 5 houses down. Kids are at work. Her adult children were at work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We immediately found in-home care that day and started touring communities. And her mother is doing very, very well in a beautiful community. And the family can breathe again. So we work a lot of times in crisis. Sometimes if a family is coming out of, a member is coming out of rehab or the hospital, we'll get that call on a Wednesday. They're getting discharged tomorrow, or they're getting discharged Friday. We have placed as quickly as 6 hours. So we can make it happen, especially if they're coming out of a rehab or a hospital, because they do all the paperwork, because there is paperwork that is involved, which a lot of families do not realize. And Maryland is adding a few extra things to that, but the primary one is your healthcare practitioner form, and a MOLST form, which is the Maryland Order for Life-Sustaining Treatment. Now they have to have a COVID vaccination card, and they have some are still requiring maybe a COVID test within 72 hours of coming into the community so that they
Right.
protect all the residents. But when they're in the hospital or rehab, all that paperwork's done. And we love that because that's great. It makes it quick. If it's not, or the power of attorney or the adult child says, oh, I told mom she can come home. We're going to go home and we're going to, wait a week or two or a month. Those forms are good for 30 days. So if they don't do something within that 30-day window, then they have to take mom to the primary care, get all the paperwork filled out again, and do all of that. So now you've lost some valuable time. So we do a lot. We are so engaged with our families. We are concierge service. We are one-on-one with our families. They are an extension of our family, and we work with them until their senior is placed safely, that we help with the move, the transition, all the paperwork. We have movers for them if they don't have movers. If they want to just do maybe some temporary respite coming out of a rehab, we have relationships with communities that will do that. So everything's already furnished. They just have to bring their toiletries and their clothes. We are truly a one-stop shop no matter what their care needs are. You want to stay in the home, you're coming out of rehab or the hospital, but you want somebody to take care of you. A lot of seniors have nobody. That
That's true.
generation, adult children moved out of state. It used to be everybody stayed, right? Everybody stayed and took care of everybody, but that's not the way it is anymore. We've had families that we've helped move the senior from Florida back home. We've sent specialists down there to get them home safely and get them moved in communities here. So we do a lot. They just have to really find us, to call us, and we'll walk them. Once they call us, we will navigate them through everything that they need to do.
That's amazing. That does sound like a one-stop shop. You do take care of the whole process, and that's unique. And that is what I'm sure sets you apart from other placement agencies, I would think.
It does. And it also, what's different is we're local. I grew up in Maryland. I know every neighborhood in Maryland is unique, right? We call them cohort groups, right?
Yep.
Baltimore City is different from Baltimore County. Baltimore County is different from Harford County and Carroll County, and Anne Arundel County is different. So I think you need to be local, like a realtor. You're not going to go with an out-of-state realtor to sell your house. So why you're risking, not working with somebody who really, really knows the assisted living communities. Now, my company, what we do is we tour every assisted living community, and we have a very strict criteria of what they have to meet. And if they don't meet it, we won't invite them to partner with us, not the other way around. Your national companies, they get the public list of assisted living licensed facilities. And as long as they're on the list and they'll sign a contract with them, they don't know them. They don't know what the neighborhoods are. They don't know how they're staffed. We do pop-ins. We check on our clients. We follow up with the families constantly because they're our eyes in the community. So, and our clients call us and we stay in touch with them always. So, all I can say is I can tell you where not to go and I can tell you where to go.
Right.
But you really need to stay local, especially because it's such a critical transition. I mean, it's life-changing. We are helping you make life-changing decisions, and that's scary. That's scary. I was scared to death when this happened to me, but I knew enough to question what was being said and to go around people and get answers and say, this isn't right. And I had a nurse at GBMC. My mother was there for rehab, and she came out and asked me to come into her office. And she said, we need more people like you. You came in here so organized. I had a 3-ring binder with everything. She goes, all I did was walk in and say, here. She goes, this is your calling. You really need to do this. I never forgot that. I wish today I knew who she was.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I left corporate America, high-tech sales, and started this company, and I haven't looked back. I just really haven't looked back, and I love what I do. So one, we're local. We know the industry. We're one-on-one. Our clients never go on tours by themselves. We are there with them. Unless it's absolutely impossible or their time frames don't match, we'll set them up, but we We talk to them before that. We tell them about the communities, but we very rarely ever don't personally accompany all of our clients.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what really differentiates us from other placement companies. And to us, it's not about the money. It's about doing what's right and advocating for our seniors.
That is, I just can feel your passion and your genuine care for those that you serve. I know when we were faced with a situation with my dad, trying to find the best care for him, my sister and I went to about 10 different places in a week. We were harried. We didn't know who we were going to see. And to know that you've been to all of these places, you know all the places that you're taking people, just that sense of security would have been wonderful for us. And part of why Winter Grace is Winter Grace, so we can try to help people avoid that situation. Exactly.
And you know where it really, I guess it hit me was during COVID, because the media was so wrong, the government was so wrong in that they combined assisted living with nursing homes. They're not. So families couldn't tour. So I had one family call me and said, "We were given your name, Deb. They told us that we could trust you, that we're not allowed to see the communities. You can talk to us about them. We're not allowed to go in. We can't see mom when she gets in because of quarantine." But she was crying on the phone. I'm like, "We've got you. It's okay. You can trust me. We'll do a Zoom call." So we did virtual Zoom calls through the communities. She got to see where her mom's room was. They got to bring all of her personal belongings. We made arrangements for them to come in through where the freight door elevator is, so that they could do that. And they were allowed to go in through the room, just through there, and get everything decorated and leave again, right? And then 72 hours later, the mother was allowed to come. They really, assisted livings were going above and beyond, and they really were done an injustice. And I did. I called the media. I called the governor's office, and I said, educate them. Just educate the media, because there's a whole small business group out there, are losing business. All the assisted livings out there. So it was. COVID really woke up a lot of everybody's eyes, and how to handle a pandemic. But I tell you, all the assisted livings did a phenomenal job. They really did a phenomenal job. So I'm very grateful for the ones that I work with. And like I said, I tour them all. If they don't meet our criteria, we tell them why. And if they want to correct it, we come back for a second tour. I get calls almost daily asking me, "I hear that if you like our community, you refer people to us. And if you don't, you'll tell me why." And I'm like, "Yep, that's about what we do."
That sums it up.
Yeah, there's no gray area here. We're very, very picky.
You can have a heart and a passion, but also be very firm on what your expectations are, because we're entrusting those that mean the most to us, to assist these assisted livings, and we want what's best.
So I also get calls from families that are in the hospital, and their parent needs to go to a rehab. What they don't know is you can choose the rehab. They're so overwhelmed with everything, and they don't know the industry. The social worker is supposed to give them a list of available beds in various rehab facilities. So I am asked often, "Can you help us?" And I just do it because I know what's going on in all the rehabs. I'm familiar with them all. I know what ones are 5-star. I know what ones are 1-star. So I will rate them depending on their geographic location, where I think they should first consider if there's a bed available.
Sure.
But as simple things as that has nothing to do with assisted living, but it's like a family in crisis. They don't know what to do because they're trusting. And that isn't all the case, but if they don't know to ask, and you have one social worker who says, "Well, your mother can only get a bed in this facility," you have other options.
Right.
There are and that's what we do. Is our goal is to educate. And I teach a course at Howard Community College. I go to all the senior centers with a panel of experts, and we educate and put on events as often as we can, just to share information, not to sell. We're here to help. We're here to answer questions. We're here day and night, 7 days a week. We're responsive. We pride ourselves in getting back almost immediately if we can. If not, leave us a voicemail. My website is interactive. you can go on the website to seniorcarelifestyles.com, and the very homepage, it's a big red Get Help Now. Takes you right to a form, the form that we talked about. Just fill that form out, submit it. They get a copy of it. I get a copy of it. My assistant gets a copy of it. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere else but to us.
Right,
So
right.
it's all confidential. We will never ask for social security numbers, accounting, nothing. We just work with our families. It's just everybody just works with each other to do the right thing.
Now, one thing I do want to bring up is that we're recording this before the fair starts. During our fair, you're going to be joining us twice for a live presentation and Q&A. Can you give us a little taste of what we might expect?
So this is a presentation that I put together, and it is called Aging in Place, Arming Yourself with Knowledge, because we educate. We educate on all the various senior living options available, from in-home care to residential care homes to assisted living homes that have separate neighborhoods for memory care and dementia and Alzheimer's, up to independent senior living, to your continuous care retirement homes. What the difference is, why there's a difference, what the benefits are of each, what the cost difference is of each, and then what is required to be admitted into those different types of communities, from whether it's just a one-time monthly, deposit, or is it you're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars down for a continuous care community, and what does the fine print say on that? So we get into a little bit of details of awareness. If you're going to go into those kind of, really read the fine print. How much comes back to you if you leave? How much goes back to the family? What happens if you need assisted living and there's not an assisted living apartment available in that community? What happens? A lot of people don't know what happens.
No, that is a big event.
I educate them on the financial implications of that. And part of that, I've asked an associate of mine, Sherry Rush, who is going to talk about Medicaid. We present together quite frequently because there is such false information out there about Medicaid. And Sherry is an expert. It's her company called Angels of Elder Care. So she does a section called The Myths and Facts of Medicaid. And it goes into it because you will have so many people go through the Medicaid situation. Everybody says something different. And I have families tell me things. They're going to take my mother's house. They're going to, all my money, all her money, all that. There's things that can be done. There's things out there that just, they need to be educated on. So we realized that. So we partnered a couple years together to put that into the presentation that I do. And it is something that I think all seniors need to be aware of, especially seniors with assets who have a home, who may have a bank account or an investment portfolio. So they really understand, and you can plan. You can make plans. And that's where Sherry's going to be very valuable to contribute the Medicaid piece of what we're going to do. So
that's great, Deb. I'm really looking forward to that. And I said we were recording this before the fair, but if it's during the fair or you've missed these live presentations, don't worry. It'll be available in the library section of our website. So never fear, it'll be there. So is there anything else you'd like to share before we go?
The only thing I'd like to say is don't be afraid to make a phone call. We are a free resource. It does not cost our families anything to work with us. If you're in crisis, call us. We have a referral for just about any type of service you may need, and we're here to help. And just call on us. That's what we do. That's what our specialty is. And we're local. It's very important to stay local.
Yes.
Stay local. I can't say that enough. So, all right, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. And all of your contact information is on this page below where this recording is.
Okay.
And, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.